Hi everyone, it's Laura here for SugarPea Designs, and in today's video I'm going to share with you how to create a cute snow globe card using the snow globe dies and the Gnome for Christmas stamp set. I started by creating my card front from some heavyweight white cardstock. I die cut it with the rectangle die in the Card Front Element Builder 2 die set. This die cuts a rectangle which is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches and adds a dotted detail all around. And then I'm going to create the window for my snow globe using this circle die from the snow globe die set by SugarPea Designs. I'm going to place it on the top portion of my card front, secure it with some low tack tape, and then I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine. I'm going then to coat the back of my card front with some acetate so that we can create the window for the snow globe. And at this stage you could also decide to turn this into a shaker and it would look really great, but for today I decided to go for a more flat card. For the base of my snow globe, I'm using this die, also from the snow globe die set by SugarPea Designs, and one of the papers from the Happy Camper paper pad. I'm going to add some shading to this die cut using Distress Oxide in Walnut Stain and some blending brushes, but actually I'll come back later with my Illustrator markers to add even more shading, so if you're following this tutorial you can completely skip this step. For the background of my snow globe, I'm going to create a sky, and I'm going to do that by blending my Distress inks over some Bristol Smooth cardstock. I'm starting with Cracked Pistachio at the bottom, and then I'm going to blend it with Evergreen Bough, and for the top portion of the sky, I'm going to use Peacock Feathers and then Salty Ocean. I'm going to make sure that everything is blended nicely, and for that I'm going back over those same areas a second time with my foam blenders, and then once that step is done I'm going to add a snowfall effect by diluting some acrylic paint and then picking it up with a paintbrush and flicking the paintbrush over my sky background to create these tiny droplets. I put this panel aside to dry and then I started working on my images. The stamp set I'll be using today is the Gnome for Christmas stamp set, and I'm going to use this image of the gnome, and then off camera I'm also going to color the trees. So there is a larger and a smaller tree image and I'm going to color them both. For my coloring, I'm using my Illustrator markers and I stamped my images on some Nina Solar White 110 pounds cardstock. I started from the hat and the clothes of the gnome, for which I used DR6, DR3 and DR2 for the first layer, but then because I didn't feel I was achieving enough contrast, I went in with a second layer. And for that I used some of my Spectrum Noir original markers that I can combine easily with my Illustrator markers whenever I have gaps in my Illustrator marker collection. So here I'm darkening the shadows with a DR7 marker, blending that out with DR6, and then coming in with DR5 before blending everything once more with my DR2 marker. I went over the nose with a colorless blender because I had a little bit of my red marker there, and then I moved on and started coloring the skin. I'm using TN5, TN3, FS8 and FS9, and I'm generally adding shadows as if the light is coming from the top right of the screen, but I'm not being too particular about light source in this coloring. For the beard, I'm going to use some warm gray markers and I'm going to keep it light, so I only used BG2 and just a little bit of BG4, and I'm adding the colors with flicking motions of my wrist so that I add this nice texture and render the beard a little bit more. Lastly, for the shoes, I decided to go for some dark cool gray markers, so I started from IG10, then I blended that out with IG8, and lastly I added IG6. And then I die cut the image with the coordinating dies to the Gnome for Christmas stamp set. At this point, I started assembling the snow globe and I adhered the front of the snow globe on the acetate window that I have on my card front. I used a very small amount of liquid glue because I don't want it to ooze out of my paper and kind of stain the acetate, if you will. And then I can adhere the background behind my card front so that I have this nice snowy sky on my snow globe. I adhered the bottom of the snow globe, and then at this stage, while I was deciding where to put my gnome, I realized that I was missing a couple of elements on my card, so I decided to go ahead and off camera color and die cut the trees in the Gnome for Christmas stamp set. I used JG5, JG3 and JG2 for the green areas and TN5 and TN3 for the trunks. I'm going to adhere the trees on the background of my scene, tucking them behind the snow hill for some added interest, and then I can go ahead and glue down the gnome, and for an extra touch of fun I decided to not put it on the scene but on the base of the snow globe. I stamped the sentiment "From our gnome to yours" on the bottom portion of my card front using black ink, and then I decided at this stage that I wanted to add even more shading to the base of the snow globe, so I came in with my TN7, TN5 and TN3 Illustrator markers, and I added some shading from the outer portions of the snow globe towards the center, keeping the center lighter. For a finishing touch, I added some highlights with a white Sakura No. 8 Jelly Roll pen, and that finished off my card for today. And that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I inspired you to create your own snow globe cards using the Gnome for Christmas stamp set and the snow globe dies by SugarPea Designs. Make sure to subscribe for more card making and paper crafting inspiration. Thank you all so much for stopping by and have a great day.